You said shiny, shiny. Now it's time to say sparky, sparky.
Not until I got the sparky in my hand. Yeah, that's definitely not neutral. Okay. You get to the bed.
Yay!
I'm gonna put a wrench on the other end.
All right, first, pop up here. I had to walk inside. Tell us what we're doing.
So, because we're in a place where it's probably as easy as it's ever going to be, we want to remove this big, heavy plate cargo liner that was put into this. It's a nice idea, and I mean the diamond plate has kind of a period look to it, but it's not really what we want. And if you can get to where you get a cut on the edge, this is a lot thicker than anything we need for this Jeep. I mean, it makes some sense to have inside the fiberglass body something here for rigidity, something that's not plastic. But this is too much, and this is probably 60, 80 plus pounds of steel that this vehicle just doesn't need. So while we're here, and this is the easiest time we're ever going to have, we're going to try to take it out. And, you know, as opposed to just trying to cut these brackets off, which we would have to do if we were going to continue playing with the seats, since we want this to come out anyway, just remove it.
And as a reminder, those brackets were for the heating unit that was put in here,
Yeah, that's the auxiliary heater core.
which may end up in the M715.
We'll see.
We'll see. I got it. Now I gotta get the other one.
Did not move.
Yeah, I pulled on it too, and it's not moving. What if if we pried against, like here, is there enough structure under there to pry against, or will it dent it?
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Is it in here sandwiched?
Well,
Or is it just rusted on?
no, it can't rust to fiberglass.
Well, there's that. We were thinking it was a compression fit. This is kind of leaning that direction.
Yeah.
We may have to get some wedges.
Yeah, it's definitely willing to move over there anyway. Guessing most likely this was assembled in place.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
And it is definitely quite heavy.
So what if we sliced it?
Slicing is a little tricky,
Oh, I agree with that.
but I'm having a couple of thoughts.
Uh-oh.
Shiny, shiny, shiny.
What we are doing here with the grinder is cleaning off an area to be able to attach these little builder brackets that I just happen to have sitting on my bench. These are gussets for various things, but what this is going to do is give me a lifting point. First we made shiny, now we make sparky.
Okay, extreme close up. Whoa! 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 Excellent. Extreme close up.
And that's how we address, I need an attachment point and don't have any. Put one there. Figure if I use my engine leveler, I can adjust to help this move back and forth or balance as it needs to. A longer chain would make this an easier proposition. Hopefully this chain's going to be long enough. Barely. Up, up, and away.
I'm lifting the back of the vehicle. Careful. If it sits down, it's going to catch on that lip.
Okay, so what we're seeing, because it is lifting the back of the vehicle.
Yes, it is. And if it releases, the back of that plate is going to hit the lip of the fiberglass and smash it. So I was thinking of
Not lifting it any further.
trying to help you here.
Yep. Yep.
That was what we wanted.
That's what we needed. You got it. It was definitely wedged in place.
Ready?
Okay. Now watch out for your seat. Okay, go ahead and set it down. Okay, big heavy piece of steel out of here. Now we've got a little bit of, years past that will need to be repaired. We've got some cracking, and it looks like a repair that was made here along the top of this fender. It will have to be fixed, and we've got a separation here across the back that looks like they used to run wiring through. So some evils from previous, or it may be that the expectation of the manufacturer was that this would be lined as well. But that'll have to be addressed as part of making this thing, at least its final version, roadworthy. All right. So keeping with the theme of taking care of the basic mechanical safety type stuff that has to be done for an inspection, we are having an issue where the clutch does not release on this. So we've got the engine running, but if it's in gear and the engine moves, the Jeep moves, which is normally a good thing. Not a good thing if you're at a stop sign or not wanting to lurch out into traffic when you hit the ignition. So we need to try to figure out what's working or what's not working with respect to the clutch linkage. So that's next. We've got a bucket back in place so somebody can sit and try to operate the clutch while we go look for what's going on when the clutch moves. So we are looking at the clutch linkage from the back of the Jeep looking forward. So if April steps on the clutch for us, okay. So what we see, go ahead and release the clutch, is so we have this bell crank system here that is coming up, this arm across, and this cable operated clevis and assembly on this side. And if April will step on the clutch for us again. Is that bottomed out?
Yes,
Is it because it's as far as you can push it, or because
that's it.
the pedal can't go any
No
further?
more.
Huh?
I cannot push anymore.
Okay, but the pedal doesn't go any further to, okay.
I can push it with both feet if you want.
Well, yeah, push harder.
Two-footed clutching. That's not double clutching.
Okay, so that is as far as you can move it.
Yep.
All right, hold on. So we've got that clutch in just as hard as we can get it, both feet standing on it. Vehicle in gear. Should effectively be in neutral. Yeah, that's definitely not neutral. So the clutch is not releasing. We do see from the video, though, that the mechanism is moving. So it's either not moving far enough, or it's it's either not moving far enough or it's not moving far enough. What I want to check under April's foot here, it's coming down here, You can see that there's plenty of throw before the pedal hits the floor. I'll see how well I can do video and manipulate this. So we're now looking at the other side of the clutch arm here. Let's see if I can get the light to stay for me. There we go. So this is the other end of the clutch arm that linkage is pulling against. And the question is it not able to go any further? And it really does kind of look like that might be as far as it is supposed to go. I think the arm is moving the distance it's supposed to move. The clutch is just not releasing. There is an inspection plate here, which might make this a little easier proposition. We get this up on the lift and see if we get that plate off, if we can determine what's going on with the clutch itself.
I am now in my CJ2A airplane. We have taken off and we're cruising at a flight about 15 feet. Well, maybe not that high. Maybe
Probably more like about 6 feet.
maybe I'm that high. The captain has ignored the no seatbelt sign because, well, we don't have seatbelts. In fact, the seat I'm sitting in isn't even fastened down. Oh, and brake stuff too. We think the brakes are working. Gonna give it another check. Okay, he moved to clarify. Brakes are definitely not working. And we're not sure why. So that's yet another thing that we need to check out ahead of this inspection. Meanwhile, he's down underneath taking off the inspection plate, and I'll hand the camera back down to him when he's ready to show you some cool stuff.
Okay, since the camera crew is taking an unplanned flight, let's see what's going on under here with the inspection, inside the clutch with the inspection plate removed. So we've taken off that blue cover. This is the interior of our inspection plate. And here we've got, trying to get to where I've got a view of the pilot bearing here. Okay, kind of. We'll see if that works. Go ahead and step on the clutch. Okay. Let go. Okay, so the throwout bearing definitely moves on the clutch itself. So that's good. Step on it again. And let go. Okay, so what I'm not seeing is any evidence of any movement within the clutch itself. One more time. Okay, let go. So yeah, I am not, so I'm looking for where my actual clutch plates are. One more time. And release. Yeah, I think the throwout bearing is fine. Oh, yeah.
That sounded ominous.
Try to figure out if I can get the camera to where it can see what I'm looking at here. Kind of. Okay, step on it again. And release. Yeah, I think we're going to be doing a clutch on this one. So, this is our throwout bearing here. And there are these fingers up in the clutch. That is what it pushes against to release the clutch. And so you almost can't see that finger in the camera, but I'm touching it up in here. Those actually should ride almost against the throwout bearing when it's in its limited position. And there is enough space in there for me to get the whole of my index finger, middle finger up in there between that finger and the throwout bearing. So I am gonna guess this clutch is frozen up in a position that it's not going to function properly. So that'll be something we have to look into and figure out what kind of clutch this arrangement actually uses. The good news is with the inspection plate, we can get in here to kind of look at it. The bad news is I think we're going to do a clutch. Now rejoining Adventures in Clutching in progress. So I've taken this piece of the clutch linkage out. I've disassembled all of it, chased the threads, lubricated them, and cleaned them all up. The idea is to be able to adjust the clutch, and maybe if we can just tighten it up a little bit, get this existing clutch to work without having to replace it. Now we're going to try to reinstall this little piece of the linkage. So what we want to do is reattach this clevis to this linkage here. Now, it was previously in this end hole, and I think for the size of our bolt, I guess we do have the option to go into either. So since I'm trying to tighten this up, I am going to start by seeing if I can do this in this rearward hole that was going to give us a little bit more motion. That actually went together a lot easier than I expected it to. What I suspect is that we do want this to have some motion in it. So the double nuts were to keep it from smashing the clevis. Okay, so that is tight, but the clevis is still able to float and move. Unscrew that from the end of the other. Set that in place. And just thread that back into the clevis. And like that, it is now reattached. Now let's see if I can tighten it. Nothing else, that'll make the throwout bearing make all kinds of interesting noises later. Okay, April, step on the clutch hard.
Oh, it's really stiff.
But it's moving.
Yeah, but I got like 2 inches of throw.
Well, it moved, which is better. Put it, what you think is putting it in gear. Okay.
Clutch is in.
Let me...
Oh, man. Might be a penny brakes.
Keep working on your leg workout.
Oh, I'm doing it. Both legs. Oh, there.
I don't think you were quite in gear.
Nope, but I am now.
And clutch is still not disengaged. So, yes, I think the answer is we're doing a new clutch. Now with the brakes, it doesn't move. So, we have brakes, we have no clutch.
Okay, stop. No, I wanted that kind of on you. Okay, so we have brakes, still no clutch. So a new clutch is going to be in order, and as I understand it, we have brakes to 2 wheels. So there was some broken off bleeder valves I remember hearing about. We broke the cap off the top of the master cylinder. I mean, like sheared it, broke it. So probably a new master cylinder if the cap can't be replaced. Yeah.
Now, the long plan for this Jeep is to replace that master anyway, because they have a upgraded part that is a dual chamber or dual reservoir master, which is a safer master cylinder. And so we were going to do that upgrade to this anyway, so that's probably the right answer for the master cylinder, and then at least a couple of wheel cylinders so that we have brakes, so we can at least bleed the brakes at all 4 corners. And then, yeah, the clutch, which I got to decide what the easiest way of getting to the clutch on this one is, given the aftermarket or non-factory engine. may complicate getting transmissions and other things out of the way to do a clutch job. But that'll be for another day. And at this point, I say thank you. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe, and share.